Hello guys, today I'm gonna create a forest cave. So firstly you can see I just apply fresh water with 2-inch flat brush and then add some lemon yellow and little bit of sap green with wet area. I apply the first tone, you can see, and when you apply it you just uh, freely apply the color on the wet area and don't be hesitate, you know. Now you can see I apply some sand green and the pigmentation of color is 3 on 10 or 4 on 10. Always remember, don't apply below 2 on 10, because when you apply so much fresh color and more water it will be flow down. So you must remember that when you apply some value on another color you have to apply more color on the wet area. Now you can see I apply the burnt sienna and the color pigmentation is 2 on 10. It is totally like I apply a base color, you can see, and then I apply color for this road. Here I apply uh, fresh yellow ochre and it is 2 on 10. You can see it is just I apply for a base color. After that I add some value with more, you can see I use more yellow ochre on the road area, and now our first tone is totally complete. Now I use a rigger brush for background small tree area, and here I use burnt sienna and little bit of orange, and the color pigmentation is 4 or 5 on 10. You should remember this, it will not be flow down, it just blend with background. This is the sweetness of watercolor. You should maintain this, and these things make your painting more beautiful. Now I create some grass with small flat brush, and here I use hooker's green. This is very beautiful color for grass, and you can also use it. It is very good color and you can easily handle it. And you can see how I create the grass and the shadow part. For the grass area I use hooker's green, you can see, and when I apply the shadow on the road I don't use sap green because it is yellow ochre, so I have to more pigmentation on the road. That's why when shadow came down on the road it will shadow color, and the road is yellow ochre, so my shadow it will create burnt sienna. That's why I use this type of warm color on the road. And this is the grass how I use. You can see here I use a rigger brush again, and I think this video will help you to understand how you should practice and apply the color, and you should regularly practice, if you want to develop your watercolor skill. And now I create the tree area, and here I use burnt sienna, and the color pigmentation is like 4 or 5 on 10. And I add some dark on the left side. For the darkest area I use a little bit of cobalt blue, and I apply it in wet area, because when it will be dry and after that if I use, it will not blend, so blending is must needed. So that's why I doing like this. And again you can see I just wash the tree and then I apply some value again. Here I use again rigger brush and the color pigmentation 3 on 10 or 4 on 10, because it is a base color and the color is orange and little bit of burnt sienna. It is a base color, and after that, before it will totally dry, I apply some value for the darkest part. I use cobalt blue and little bit of hooker's green for darkest area. You can see it will create a good pigmentation, so that's why I use hooker's green and burnt sienna. And again like this I create another tree. And again I use a little bit of cobalt blue, and sometimes I also use for warm tone, I use little bit of scarlet and hooker's green and a little bit of burnt sienna for the darkest part. Our trees are almost done, so now we are create the branches. For the branches I use sand green. You can see how I create the branches. Don't be hesitate, just create it. And here I use 12 number round brush, and I use some rigger brush for uh, the darkest part. I use hooker's green, and the color pigmentation is 9 on 10. You can see how much color I add in this area, because it is a shadow area, and that's why I create this type of the brushes. This I use the same method for the other trees. And when you create the bushes, don't be hesitate, just mix some colors, some greenish color, and apply it like this, and trust me, it will create a good harmony, and it is the beautiful nature of watercolor. So don't be hesitate, just create it and try to apply the color in wet and wet. Our trees are almost done. Like this same process, I apply the left side. For the darkest area I use some hooker's green. You can see how I create the bushes, and I apply some more value, and when I apply some more value I use 9 on 10 or 10 on 10 colored. You can see how I create this. See, I created the bushes, and here I add some extra value with my rigger brush and some detail. You can see how I create the detail, and when I apply the value, you can see, you should always remember you have to use more color and less water, because if you use lots of water it will be flow down, it will not carry by the paper. When you practice a lot watercolor, you will definitely understand the fundamental rule of watercolor. And here it is, my painting is almost done. Thank you so much, see you soon. I will come back with my another video.